Welcome back to Jacksonville Buzz TV. I'm Larry Celzo. I'm doing a segment called Making a Difference, where I speak with our local business leaders about them, their business, and the passion they have in making a difference in our community. Today, we're honored to have Chris Hand as our guest today, and he's a former chief of staff for the mayor, Mayor Alvin Brown, around 2011, 2015. Did that for 4 years, and currently is an attorney for Hand Law. Thanks, Chris, for coming on the show today.
Larry, always great to get to spend some time with you. Thank you for having me here.
Oh, you're welcome. So tell a little bit about your background and what led you into politics and law.
Sure. Well, first of all, congratulations on having this role with Buzz TV and for everything you've done to serve our country and serve our community, Larry. Really appreciate all your service. I'm very lucky that I've had the opportunity to be in public service myself for many years. After I graduated college, I spent 4.5 years, almost 5 years, working in Washington at the U.S. Senate. Most of that time was spent with former Florida Governor and then U.S. Senator Bob Graham. I then moved back to Florida, which is where I grew up. I grew up right here in Jacksonville, went to Fletcher High School, go Senators, and came back to Florida for law school and have been an attorney since 2003. My current focus is very tied to some of the public service work that you've indicated I've done, both with Senator Graham and at the city of Jacksonville and others. My job as an attorney, what my firm, Hand Law, does is helps clients navigate government. Look, whether you're a business or another type of organization or an individual, we all have an increasing number of interactions with government. And what our firm tries to do is to help clients navigate those various governmental processes, really at any level. And so we work with clients to help them identify what their short, medium, and long-term opportunities or challenges with government are, and then we help them put together and execute a plan to successfully navigate those and address those opportunities and challenges.
Oh, that's amazing. Well, thank you. Thanks for all your public service and being able to do that. And your law firms seems very interesting. Who with government, who are the type of clients that you service?
Well, it could be businesses, it could be other types of organizations, it could be individuals, really anybody who's seeking to address an opportunity or challenge at any level of government. I particularly enjoy engaging at the local level, city and county level, because obviously that's some of my recent experience, but the firm, either on its own or in collaboration with others, can help clients really at any level of government. And Larry, one of the most important parts of what we want to accomplish in the cases that we handle is to try and help empower clients, help demystify the governmental process, help them better understand government, and take more of an ownership role in building good relations with government, understanding how governmental processes work, and sort of steps like that. As we've talked about before, and I'll hold this up like they've asked me to do, Senator Graham and I several years ago wrote a book called America, the Owner's Manual, You Can Fight City Hall and Win, which is exactly this idea that as citizens, we hold the most important title in American democracy. And as a result, we have all the skills we need to move government in our direction. We just have to follow the steps of that empowerment process to make government work for us. And in many ways, that's what my law firm now tries to do, help empower businesses, organizations, and citizens to use the skills of effective citizenship to address opportunities and challenges at any level of government.
Well, that's definitely a great service to have, to be able to provide, because I know law in general, especially with government, can be very complex. So many moving parts, and so to have someone like you guide them along the process, I mean, that's a very unique and great opportunity for them.
It's really fulfilling when a client, whether that's a business or another organization or an individual citizen, realizes that they have the power. Remember, the key three words in our system of government are "we the people." When they realize that they have the power to address a governmental challenge and to help move government in their direction, to have the government work for them like our system is set up to do, there's nothing more fulfilling in the practice when that empowerment occurs. And so I'm really privileged to be able to do this and work with clients who have those sorts of interests.
Good, good. Let's move a little bit more on some of the activities that you've been doing with actually with making a difference in our community with your book, The Quiet Revolution.
Yeah, so this is, and
share
I'll
about
again
that.
hold this up. This is the 50th anniversary update of A Quiet Revolution. Just to refamiliarize you with it, A Quiet Revolution was written originally in 1968 by Richard Martin, who was a Times Union reporter. It was written to chronicle Jacksonville's historic city-county consolidation. As most people know, on October 1st, 1968, we merged our city and county governments to form the consolidated city of Jacksonville. That has made us the biggest city by population in Florida, the biggest city by area in the contiguous United States, and the 12th largest by population in the entire country. So formed a very large entity, 841 square miles, and Richard Martin chronicled that in 1968. There have been several updates to the book since then, and the one I was privileged to write is the most recent update, the update to commemorate the 50th anniversary version. And in the book, we make a sort of an assessment of consolidation at age 50. Age 50 in the life of any person or individual, or person or business or organization, is a chance to reflect, think about what's worked, maybe what could work better. And that's what we attempt to do in this update, assess what some of the strengths and perhaps weaknesses of consolidation are at age 50, chronicle the last 12 years or so of consolidation history, because that's the time since the last update, and then really look forward and sort of figure out what are the 5 questions that might define the next 50 years of consolidation. That we thought that was important at this point, and I say we because we did this in collaboration with the Jacksonville Historical Society, which is a great organization doing good work in our community. It was important because right now, Larry, every 10 years, the city of Jacksonville convenes a charter revision commission to take a look at our charter, which is essentially our local constitution, and decide whether it should make recommendations for changes to that charter to the city council and the state legislature. So the book was written in time for the Charter Revision Commission process to try and help potentially suggest some ideas or subjects they can explore. And that process is going on right now at City Hall. It started last July. It will end by ordinance code at the end of March. And at that point, they'll make recommendations to the City Council.
Oh, very good. Well, I look forward to reading your book, and I know you gave me a copy, so I look forward to reading that and learning a little bit more about that. And so to learn about how these changes and these processes are made in Jacksonville.
Well, and the really important thing to remember, and this goes back to citizen engagement, here in Jacksonville, citizens gave our consolidated form of government, very unique form of government, life with their votes.
Yeah.
Well, now we have a chance to shape its future through our voices, but that means each of us as citizens has to engage, has to offer our suggestions to the Charter Revision Commission, and has to engage in the council process when those recommendations go forward. It's a very important junction point in the history of our consolidated government, and I'm trying to do everything I can and foster conversations in the community, encourage citizens to participate, and also to thank the Charter Revision Commission for their very hard work. This is a team of volunteers that have been working very hard, putting a lot of hours in since last July. So important time for our city.
Well, Chris, you're doing a lot of great work to our community, and we can't thank you enough.
Well, thank you for everything you're doing, Larry. Great to see you as always.
Great to see you, Chris. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Of course.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody, for watching Jacksonville Buzz TV. Let's all make a difference in our community.